Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Jaguar fans, you know what it is. Happy Friday. Happy Victory Friday. Um, mm, mm. What can I say? 5-2. It's a glorious thing to behold. I definitely was worried about this stretch of schedule, particularly because you got to worry about the game going into London. How that flight affects your team. Yes, it was an advantage to stay a second week. I did mention that in the last video that I posted. Because they stayed, I do think they had an advantage over the Bills. But nonetheless, the Bills are supposedly a Super Bowl contender. It is what it is. I'm going to take the dub there. We beat a really good team, a playoff team, in a win that could have playoff implications. And then you got to wonder, if it was the smartest move to decide not to have the bye week coming back from London. So we came back, hosted the Colts. Um, you know, Coming back from London, hosting a division game, like just this stretch of games was rough. And then right after that, short week, not bringing in, flying out to New Orleans on a short week. A New Orleans team that I thought was way better than what they've been showing lately. And some of their deficiencies definitely reared their head. But shout out to the Jaguars and the grit they shown. We went out there without Tyson Campbell, without Walker Little. We're still without our nose tackle, Devon Hamilton. Um, we're still putting APBs out for Trayvon Walker. I really wish they finally, kind of cut their losses on the whole outside. You know what? I'm not going to say cut their losses. I don't mind him playing outside linebacker and base formations, but in pass rush situations, I'm kind of over watching him trying to rush from the edge. Kick the man inside, let him do some damage on some guards. This is exactly what I was worried about. I don't see any progress. I don't even see anything that makes me think that this guy is going to be a legitimate outside 10 to 15 sack guy on the edge. I'm not seeing any of that as a pass rushing outside linebacker. He literally looks to me like a big DN. He could play that five tech, I think, perfectly, especially in this attacking scheme that we have. And then in third down, I mean, all he wants to do is knock guys over and bull rush anyway. Put him in that three technique on third down and move him around up and down the line. I think the defense will be better for it. Josh Allen needs help, all right? And that's another thing. We need to go ahead and cut the check. Listen, the writing's on the wall. I've been talking about Trent Baalke for quite some time. The writing is on the wall. Everybody's happy with what they're seeing, but what I'm seeing is that bill's about to come due. Trevor's due, Calvin's due, Cisco's due, Tyson Campbell's due, Josh Allen is past due. Um, I I don't think we're going to be able to keep them all, and I'm really concerned that it's Josh Allen. And every week that goes by, Josh Allen's price is going up. So this is a tough position to be in. But again, I'm not going to let that damper this. But Trent Baalke, I can't stand the guy. I don't think he's done things or planned this out well. There's so many people that we have to get under contract. That entire draft is due. The Trevor Lawrence, ETN, another guy due. That's all coming due. The entire draft was a good draft, and it's time to pay those guys. Let's see what happens. But back to the 31-24 win. A lot of people were down. Didn't see a lot from Calvin Ridley. As far as I could tell, they were doubling him the majority of the game, as they should. I haven't seen anything that would concern me in terms of, is Calvin Ridley a legitimate wide receiver one? I do think he's there's a couple ways to look at that, right? So I've never looked at Calvin Ridley as like the Julio Jones, Jamar Chase. Like, I never thought he would be that, right? although I do think there's still potential to let's wait and see. But I never really expected that coming in. But do I think he could have been the like Amari Cooper, um, like CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper's better than CeeDee Lamb. So I guess it depends on how you tier certain receivers. Could he? I was hoping at best, he could be Stephon Diggs. I didn't think he was gonna be Stephon Diggs. Maybe a poor man's version of it. I think they're very similar, very explosive off the line, very shifty in and out of breaks. I don't think it's really his fault that he's not producing like we would like. If you ask my opinion, I think a lot of it has to do with we play him like a true X receiver. He doesn't do a lot of the go across the middle stuff. He runs a lot of go routes, deep pitches, speed outs, things like that. And those kind of routes are easy to cover, especially if you don't have time to allow those routes to develop. He runs a lot of the deeper stuff. The problem with the deeper stuff, and they were talking about it as of yesterday, it's my understanding that Trevor Lawrence is the second fastest getting the ball out of his hands. We're not allowing time for those plays to develop. It's not Trevor's fault. It's not Calvin Ridley's fault. We're going to draw a fault anywhere. It's the offensive line's fault. This was an issue last year. We got the ball out of Trevor's hands quickly last year because the offensive line doesn't hold up, particularly at the tackle position. I think we're pretty decent interiorly, but we have a right tackle. I know everybody's hyped for him, because like PFF keeps putting out, he's not allowing pressures and da, and that's great. But we're not doing a lot of 5-step drops and letting Trevor let it rip. So take that with a grain of salt. I like what we're doing within what we're doing. I expected this team to be a team that's going to habitually score 30, and so far we're doing that. What I'm not liking right now is that's 2 weeks in a row we got a big lead and we took our foot off the gas pedal. Foot off the gas pedal. I don't just mean offense. I mean particularly on defense. I feel like we've gotten really lax, and I'm not sure lax is the right way to put it. I kind of feel like in certain situations we've gotten too lax, and then in other situations we've gotten too aggressive. There's not been enough in between. There's not been adjustments, in my opinion, to, okay, they're probably going to do this because we've been doing this to them. There hasn't been adjustments to the adjustment. So we've allowed late surges. Even though we blew out the Colts, I didn't like the fact that we let them, I think they scored twice at the end of the game to make the game look closer than it actually was. And then last night, it reared its head in the Saints game. The Saints are a respectable team, and they really came roaring back. That's problematic. And we gave them every opportunity to try to take this game. That the 2 series, back-to-back fumbles, I think it's wild that you can just kind of throw your teammate on top of the punt returner, you know what I mean, and then cause a fumble that way. But we had back-to-back possessions where we caused a fumble. They only came away with 3 points. Shout out to the defense early, but they got to finish late. They got to do better than that. I expect, bigger things, especially as these games become bigger. We got the Steelers coming up next. I'm definitely looking forward to that. A lot of shit talking between me and my friend who's a Steelers fan. And I personally think we should win that game. I told him if we are whole, I think we win double digits. I don't think they can score with us. And I think our defense, even though the rankings might not show it, is a little bit underrated. The way our blitz schemes are pretty intricate. A lot of teams are not necessarily doing what we're doing. Tampa Bay does a lot of what we do because obviously our defensive coordinator came from that cloth. But a lot of teams aren't able to handle the kind of athleticism and things we're throwing at them in our front. Darius Williams having a Pro Bowl caliber season. Andre Cisco having a Pro Bowl caliber season at the safety. I've been pleasantly surprised by Rayshawn. I think he's been playing within the flow of the defense. I think we're starting to now understand what people's strengths and weaknesses are and playing to them. So we're not allowing certain, like I previously stated, Ray Sean's not the greatest cover guy, but he's actually been better than I've even anticipated. Darius Williams, I didn't expect him to play as good as he's playing right now. So bring the steel curtain down. It is what it is. I can't wait to watch that game. Let me know what y'all think. Definitely remember to like, subscribe, and share. I shout out to Trevor Lawrence. All right, shout out to Trevor Lawrence playing through that injury. I thought it was a very good spot to sit. However, all these games are valuable, and a lot of us we're in a position that we're not used to. I saw a lot of sit Trevor Lawrence down. It's not worth it. Yada yada yada. Guys, we're in position for the number one seed. We are in contention for the number one seed. I don't think you understand that. I know it's not a position you guys are used to. Beating Buffalo was critical. Critical. Okay? So every win, every loss is huge for this team. We have the opportunity to get the bye and host a game in the divisional round. We have an opportunity to make sure that the playoffs comes through Jacksonville as opposed to Kansas City like it's been. Kansas City's still trying to work some things out. I think those tackles are going to be an issue for them, as I've previously stated, with Jawan Taylor and Donovan Smith. But still they're not losing games. The number one seed right now, I don't want to say it's not realistic because it is a very realistic goal. We only have 2 losses. But usually it's like Kansas City, Buffalo, and we beat Buffalo. So we could get the number 2 spot. We can still host a playoff game. All right. That's all I got for now. Pay our guys, big wins. Even bigger win would be against Pittsburgh. 6-2 sounds great. All right. All right. Let me know what y'all think. I'll be looking for y'all in the comments. All right. If I miss you guys, I apologize wholeheartedly. All right. Peace out. I'll let you next time.